resourceful, vibrant, and filled with a sense of contentment and peace. Can I get a show of hands? All right. Well, wonderful. That is our topic today. Who have you come here to be? And that is what exactly what a Q coach is, by the way. He mentioned a Q coach. A Q coach is somebody who supports another person in finding out who they've come here to be and to support them in living that life. And you know, I brought the books last time, the book and the deck of cards, Who Have You Come Here to Be? And so I've got them with me today if anyone is interested. So that's what we're all about in Unity, isn't it? Living from our core and true self, our deepest spiritual self, where we do tap in and tune in to what is within that wellspring of life. And you know, according to spiritual thought leaders around the world, we are now stepping into the greatest evolution that this world has ever seen. If you think back the past 30 years at how much we have moved forward, how much more inclusive we are and concerning and caring about others and our environment. And of course, there's more to go. We see that. And yet we have come a long way. We certainly have. We've grown faster in the past 30 years. We've got the internet. More information is out there. We've got what it takes so that we can be resourceful and purposeful. And therefore, we can live vibrant and peaceful lives. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right. So many people were already recognizing many years ago, even 30 and 40 and 50 years ago, that we were entering into a new era, a time of great change. And we are still unfolding in that same manner. We're still blossoming and blooming and becoming all that we can be. Barbara Marx Hubbard, she's a spiritual leader in the New Thought world. And several years back, she asked this question: what would happen if this community were to experience its own potential for conscious evolution? And then she went on to say, would anybody here be interested? And she got a resounding yes. They were interested, and they're still following her and her teachings today. And we in Unity are also interested in living out our full potential and being all that we can be, showing up as who we have come here to be. The truth is we are shifting. We are shifting higher and higher, and as we do, we move the whole world into a higher order. We see laws changing. We see people reaching out. We see borders disintegrating and people reaching out hand to hand, working together. So that is what it is all about, living in unity and living out these teachings. And we're at a critical choice point. We have decisions to make. We need to show up as who we have come here to be so that the whole planet can move forward in what is ours to do on the next level of evolution. So we're on the leading edge of thought here in Unity. In fact, Charles Fillmore and Merle Fillmore over 100 years ago were on the leading edge of thought then, and we still are on the leading edge of thought. More have joined. More are out there teaching these same principles, and they've made their way into the mainstream. Many individuals and organizations are moving forward, pushing us across that threshold. So we're at a tipping point, a boiling point, so to speak. I call it popcorn. So when you think about making popcorn, you put the popcorn in, you put the oil in, and then you turn the heat on. And eventually, what do you get? You get popcorn. It starts to pop. And it does take some time, and then it goes slow at first, and then it's like going crazy, crazy good in a good way. And so I believe that is what's happening in our community, in our culture, and in our global society as well. These ideas are making their way, creating ripple effects of good, and it's like popcorn. It's the ideas are out there. We're turning up the heat. Life turns up the heat for us. The need for change is what calls forth change. And then those ideas flow forth. So we are making the difference. We are making the difference. And by coming together in community, we tap into our creativity and our genius. And where two or more are gathered. So where there is a group of us together, the divine mind acts through us in wonderful ways. It's almost like we have little fireworks above our heads with all the thoughts and ideas that are coming forth. And that's what was happening when you were singing today too. You know, it's like you feel tapped in and tuned in to creativity and to spirit, and we step out and action and create change. Barbara Marx Hubbard said, "Small fluctuations in a sea of social chaos can jump the system to a higher order." So that is what the whole idea of a tipping point is a certain number of people have an idea, have a thought, have a perspective, and when a certain number come together, it naturally begins to manifest in the physical realm. More people catch on to that idea. How awesome is that? So we know in Unity that we have these great ideas, and we just continue to live from them, knowing that we have everything we need within, and spreading that like a virus on Facebook, in a good way though. Sharing that idea that I know I have everything I need within, and so do you. Like my big affirmation this year is, I'm amazing, and so are you. And it's true, and it catches on, and then people can live from that deeper aspect of who they are and who they've come here to be. So there's something almost magical that comes together when we are living intentionally with that higher purpose in mind. Barbara Marx Hubbard describes it this way. She says it's as if we are a universal human, and perhaps Charles Fillmore would have said we are living as the Christ presence. She calls it the universal human. One who is connected through the heart to the whole of life, attuned to the deeper intelligence of nature, and called forth irresistibly by spirit to creatively express his or her gifts and the evolution of self and the world. It does sound a lot like the song that we were singing. I have everything I need, and I can dig deep within, knowing that it's going to manifest in my outer world. So this is a time of change. It's a time of empowerment, and it does begin within. So how can we live more fully in this manner as who we have come here to be? Well, we're living this life. Often we live it from the outside in, watching the news and then worrying or paying attention to what's out there, and we just are reacting. But knowing that we have all we need within and that we can tap in and tune into divine ideas, we can begin more and more living from the inside out, where the truth that we know on the inside is manifesting in our relationships, in our bank account, in our body temple, and in all that we do, in our communities. So today I brought with me my Who Have You Come Here to Be card deck. There's a book and a deck of cards, and I had pulled a card to share with you today, and it is called One, and it's really one of my favorite ones. It's called One. I have come here to be one. No one and nothing is against me. I joyously live my life united with the one life, one power, and one presence. Sound familiar? A quote from Thich Nhat Hanh expresses this concept perfectly, where he says, you are me and I am you. He says, isn't it obvious? And at the center of the current of life is spirit. Spirit is always making its way in and through our consciousness and our heart, helping us to clear out anything that would block us from our good. And spirit is always doing that between us and another person, and between us and our government, and between different organizations and countries. Spirit is always having its way to the degree that we allow. So our job is to create that atmosphere, that environment where spirit can have its way with us, where we recognize that we are bound to that one presence. There is no separation. So perhaps there may have been ways that you have thought that someone or something is in your way or blocking you from your good. And when we affirm over and over again, reminding ourselves, whether through song or through affirmation cards or writing in our journal, there is no power that is against me. I am one with God and one with the power of God. I am resourceful. I have at my fingertips all I need. Divine ideas are the foundation of my life. These tools help us to regain a sense of oneness in any situation. And it's not that life isn't going to happen and things aren't going to throw us off course. It's how fast can we get back on? How quickly can we remember and remind one another of the truth of our being? And so using the deck of cards and pulling one every morning or pulling one right before I go into a meeting helps me to set the tone for my day, for my life, so that I'm remembering who I am and what I'm all about. And sometimes you'll find favorite cards that really speak to where you are. And 6 months from now, you may have some different favorite ones. And so as I read the card about living in this one life, in this one presence, which we are reminded of every week in Unity, then I asked myself, are there places in my life where I have forgotten this truth? And so I ask you the same. Are there places in your life where you may have forgotten this truth? Is there a place in your life where you may feel angry or frustrated? Or how about bored? Even feeling bored is a sign that we're not tapped in and tuned in to the power of the creativity of the universe. Because when we're here in this now moment and we're feeling resourceful, there is nothing to feel bored about. Absolutely. Life is exciting. Even life driving down the highway is exciting. On my way here, it's amazing because I know where I'm going. I know I'm going to get to visit with everyone here. And I'm also just enjoying the beautiful scenery and the snow. Just being in the present moment, we're able to feel God more fully. And that is awesome. It's like, thank you, God. So whatever situation may be before you, remember exactly how amazing you are and how amazing God is. Whatever you might be going through or growing through, you have what you need deep inside. You have everything you need. You know, I used to watch the show, was that Molly McBeal? Was that what it was called? Ally McBeal. Okay, well, one year she picked a theme song. One year she picked a theme song. I think it was Come On, Eileen. And she really liked that song because it really got her going. And that is something that we can do as well, is pick a theme song or a theme word for our lives. And a theme song, having music to remind us of the truth and singing along with it. Wow, we can really, really be tapped in and tuned in when we're singing, I've got everything I need. So in this way, we are able to draw upon the qualities of God, living from the inside out. Even just picking 7 of the qualities that you can really focus on them. Focus on, it's my intention to be inspired and to inspire others. It's my intention to be present and mindful. It's my intention to be compassionate. It's my intention to be purposeful. It's my intention to be vibrant. God, show me how I can be more vibrant and content. Show me how I can be more happy with what is right here and right now. And show me how I can be more at peace. And when we ask in that way, we receive. There's something about the way the mind works. There's something about the way the universe works. Then when we ask quality questions, we get quality answers. We're driving down the road and asking ourselves, why am I such a loser? Why do things not work out for me? Blah, blah, blah. Then the answers that come back are just going to affirm what we're stating. But when we ask quality questions, God, you're so amazing. And why is my life so amazing? And God will show us, you're so amazing because. And things seem to work out. They just seem to work out when we ask those quality questions. So while it may sound like pie in the sky, there is truly no one like you. You are a unique expression of God. Try this on. If you already believe it, then live it and start sharing that message. If you're not so sure about it, try it on like a coat that you're thinking about buying. And you can do that with any affirmation or quality of God, any way of being. That's how we show up as who we've come here to be. Just try on one of those divine qualities of God and see how it fits. The amazing thing fit pretty well. It was a little scary to say, I'm amazing, but when I added on, and so are you, or you are amazing and so am I, when I made it about all of us, affirming and knowing that we have that quality, each one of us has that quality within us, that felt really good. That helps us kind of to really expand into our God self, is to recognize the amazingness of each one of us. The truth is that we are all on the same journey. We are all headed in the same direction. And we may appear to be lost, but we're not. We're exploring. We're checking things out. We're trying things on. But we are, generally speaking, headed down that same road of awakening fully to who we are as children of God. And that's what each one of us is doing. And we may stumble, bumble along the way, learning and growing. And sometimes we do have to explore who we are not before we can fully embody who we are. We don't really have to do that, but sometimes it does happen that way. We find our way. It's kind of like being at the cookie counter of life and trying a few of them and discovering that some of them are not our favorite as much. And then we discover who we are and we live more fully from that place. So what if you were able to wake up from limitations and blocks, comparisons, self-condemnations that we go through at times? What if you were also able to realize that as real as your problems may seem, there's a greater reality that you are awakening to? Because things do come up in life, and yet we know that we may have big problems and our God is bigger, even bigger. And those divine qualities of God that dwell within us are also bigger. So in other words, it's a pattern of perfection. We are able to tune into a pattern of perfection called a divine idea, a pattern of the universal human that Barbara Marx Hubbard spoke about. So we've already agreed that life could get better and that we are ready to live that life, and how this energizes us to be in touch with who we have come here to be. We could even take some of these ideas and write an intention statement, whether it's for our life or for a project, just to remind ourselves, I have what I need, and I'm going to nail it. We can word it in whatever way works for us. Gary Simmons shared this in the book, The Soul's Conspiracy. He said, when your authentic self miraculously awakens and becomes stronger than your ego, then you will truly begin to make a difference in this world. You will literally enter into a partnership with the creative principle. And we know our thoughts are creative. It is one of our basic unity teachings. And we are all on this continuum of growing. And we may have our moments where we feel pulled off from the truth. And we can use the concept of who have I come here to be to remain centered, to stay in that truth. And in that way, we feel empowered. We feel resourceful. And we can even say to ourselves, even though I may be going through this challenge, fill in the blank, I am resourceful and I love and accept myself. I am resourceful and I love and accept myself. So we may have those times where we fall asleep to the creative power of the universe. The truth is that power is us, and it expresses in and through and as us and helps us to live empowered. The great thinker, educator, and peace activist Howard Thurman taught that attitude contributes to the well-being of our world. Now, you've all heard the altitude of your attitude, or your attitude determines your altitude. So it is true. One of his most famous quotes, he says, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go and do that. Go and do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And when you feel resourceful, you feel alive, because it's like plugging in to the source of your being. It's like plugging in to God. And when you don't feel resourceful, how does that feel? Kind of like you shrink back because you're not sure exactly. But we are resourceful beings because we have all we need through divine ideas, and we draw that out from one another as well. Things just come together, and that is awesome. So are you ready to live an empowered life? Are you ready to live as who you have come here to be? I have an affirmation I'd like to share with you. I am empowered to live a rich and fulfilling life. I am empowered to live a rich and fulfilling life. Join together. I am empowered to live a rich and fulfilling life. I do not shrink or play it small. I openly embrace my power. I am here to make a difference, and I shine my light freely and joyfully. Now in this, you'll see I used a denial. You know, in Unity we use affirmations and denials. So I started off with, I am empowered to live a rich and fulfilling life. I do not shrink or play it small. So we've got that denial, we've got the affirmation. I'm here to make a difference and to shine my light. And just to affirm again, I am empowered to live a rich and fulfilling life. And I know that of all the people on the planet, there is no one more deserving of you receiving your good. And there's no one truly more empowered than you are in sharing your light with the world. Shine brightly and be the star that you are. God bless you and namaste.